you? Very well, thank you. Hi, nice to meet you. What grade are you in? You're in fourth grade. It's very nice to meet you.
Parker.
How are you? Good to see you. What grade are you in? And what'd you do? On the second. He's clearly got a preference. There we go.
So much.
All right, you're welcome. Fantastic.
Hello, Mr. President.
So nice to see you.
My husband Daniel.
Very nice to see you. How are you? So nice to see you. Good to see you.
She's been crying most of the time.
Oh, wonderful. Here. Come on, we have to get a beautiful picture here.
Yes.
You got to get next to me. Come on. You'll stay right in front so we can see you. All right, here. Do we have everybody? Okay. All right. How's that? Fantastic. Well, it's so nice to meet you, and I'm glad you guys had a chance to come by.
This is such a great honor.
Oh.
We're so thrilled that beyond expression.
No, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to do for and such a big family.
You would be a great family.
Oh, it's for sure. Absolutely. In fact, I just got Roman holiday the other day. Love that movie. Absolutely. So, thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys are here. Good.
It's Marguerite's birthday.
I know, 96, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, very appropriate.
Yes.
All right, wonderful. All right, so we got some more photographs, and then we'll all go into the theater.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Of course. Of course. Well, we'll see you in there. I'm going to walk with you into the theater. So I just want to get these pictures done. So nice to see you. You're still so young. It's so nice to see you. Come over here.
So great to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Where do you live now?
I'm right down in Virginia.
Are you?
Trained up. Yeah, we have a farm down there. You guys want to come visit? We used to have animals. We don't anymore. We do some crops, corn and soybeans and stuff. Yeah.
Well, we're very proud of you.
I can't thank you enough for today. And I'm so thrilled that you're here.
Absolutely. It's terrific. All right. Thank you.
Adam Focus on Universal.
Good to see you. Thanks so much for helping make today possible.
Not at all. Thank you very much for having me.
We appreciate it very much.
Honor. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.
Ron,
Good to see you, man.
It's great to see you.
How you been? You look good. How's the family?
Thank you.
We're so glad we had a chance to do this.
Well, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Lonnie Hammer.
You'll say that for mine.
Make me further. How you been? Good.
Is that everything?
We're so glad you could come.
I'm glad.
Good.
Howard Senior.
Very nice to see you. Very nice to see you.
So we had a fundraiser a few weeks ago.
I'm a little older now.
Campaigns must be okay.
It's okay. So nice to see you, Bob. Thanks so much. You guys have done great work. Well, I didn't realize, I was reading that if I got started in the Rose Garden. So that's pretty cool.
Gregory Peck was the chairman.
Uh-huh.
very beginning. The very first
And downhill.
You see, so there's a nice synergy. in
Yeah,
this whole
it's
thing.
full circle.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. Let's get you in the middle here.
Oh, okay.
Rose is clean up.
I'll see you over there. You're welcome.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Fantastic. All right, we're going to go over to the theater.
Yes.
Come on.
Hey, y'all.
Come on over here. So.
Yeah, we're coming home today. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, I always do classes. You know what? I'm going to do it for a class. Whatever, I'm not seeing in a while. Lay it on. Kids, they don't have too many options now, so they're not forced to watch it. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, it's me. This is my movie theater. it is wonderful to see all of you. There are a couple of people I want to acknowledge who helped to make today possible. First of all, Sir Howard Stringer, who's the chairman of Sony Corporation. Thank you very much. Bob Ghazali, who's the president and CEO of American Film Institute. My good friend Ron Meyer. Mary Badham Wilt, who is the actress who plays Scout, so you're about to see her. She has not aged a day. And we have what I'm especially honored to announce is that we've got Veronique Peck and the entire Peck family who are here, grandchildren, children, the whole crew. Today would have been Gregory Peck's 96th birthday. And so it's especially appropriate that we have this special screening of what I called a real milestone in American culture. A lot of you in school probably were assigned to Kill a Mockingbird and Harper Lee's extraordinary novel. Most of the time, when you have a great novel, the movie disappoints. This is not one of those situations. This was an extraordinary film that helped, I think, open people's eyes to issues of justice and fairness and integrity and dignity, people standing up to their principles. It obviously features one of the great heroes of American literature, Atticus Finch, and nobody could have brought that character to life better than Gregory Peck. And so I'm particularly pleased to see some young people here, because as I was walking in with Bob, I was saying when I was a kid, we had 3 channels. So if you were watching TV, you were forced to watch whatever was on, and that forced you to watch old movies. And you would rediscover, because frankly, To Kill a Mockingbird came out a little before I was watching movies. But I ended up seeing it on television. And these days, young people with their iPads and their this and their that, sometimes you don't have a chance to see old films. And it turns out that these classics are classics for a reason. It's because they capture who we are and the big questions in life better than just about anything does. So I'm so glad that you've got some young people here today who are going to have a chance to see it. I'm assuming the Peck grandchildren, this is not the first time you've seen the movie, but that's okay, because the popcorn is outstanding here at the theater. I'm thrilled to have you all here. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much, and thank you to all those who helped make this magnificent film. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if you could please first, please first introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Bob Ghazali. I'm the president and CEO of the American Film Institute.
And where are we tonight, and what makes this event tonight such a cool and just very historic, to a certain extent, event?
Tonight we're in the White House for a 50th anniversary celebration of To Kill a Mockingbird. This is one of those movies that stands the test of time. And throughout our lives, we go back and see movies over and over again. And depending on where you are in your own personal life, they kind of tell you a different tale. And this one, for many people, is about justice and equality in America, and also perfectly embodied by Atticus Finch, who was, of course, portrayed by Gregory Peck. What means a lot for us at the American Film Institute is that the organization was founded just steps from here in the White House Rose Garden. And Gregory Peck was our founding chairman. So to be here tonight to celebrate him on what would have been his 96th birthday is more than you can probably put words to.
Talk a little bit about the movie itself. Folks watch it now, and it stands test of time. You're right. It's a timeless movie.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I think it was received and it was groundbreaking in a lot of ways. Can you touch upon that a bit?
Well, the film premiered on Christmas Day in 1962, and it was a much anticipated film because it was based on the timeless novel written by Harper Lee called To Kill a Mockingbird. So there's a lot of people very excited about seeing it. And it became an instant classic, really. And I think there's so many things that go into making a movie and what becomes classic about it. But from Harper's words to Mr. Peck's portrayal of Atticus Finch to Mary Badham as Scout, all these things came together to create something that we're here to celebrate all these years later.
And I think it was AFI put Atticus as their #1 movie hero of the 20th century. Was that right?
Right.
I got that right? What makes him kind of the penultimate movie hero from that era?
In 2003, when the American Film Institute polled people from across the film community as to who is the greatest American film hero of all time, Atticus Finch was #1. And I think it's because this is a man who stands for what's right, no matter what the cost is going to be. And I also believe, really now that I'm older myself and seen the film a few times, and a father now, that first and foremost, this is a film about what it is to be a father and to be the head of a family in the face of very difficult situations. And we live in a world where we need that message, and we need Atticus Finch more than ever.
And just to set the stage a little more, can you kind of preview a little bit? We're gonna get some B-roll, obviously, the folks milling around.
Sure.
Who's here tonight? Who are some of the folks that are associated with the film?
Tonight we're honored to have with us Veronique Peck, who was married to Mr. Peck for 48 years, and her entire family, her children, Cecilia and Anthony, and their beautiful grandchildren, all here. So special because tonight is Gregory Peck's birthday. He would have been 96 years old. Also here tonight, Sir Howard Stringer, who's the chairman of the American Film Institute. And you're going to cut all this out because I'm going to blank now on who else is here. Oh, good. That'll be the lead, right?
Yeah.
And also here tonight is Mary Badham, who played Scout in the movie. Somebody who at 10 years old made an indelible mark on the history of American film. And what an honor it is for her to be here tonight as well.
Great.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
I'm
Perfect. Talking to professional. Yeah. He'll let us know when he's rolling. So just a few questions.
We're rolling, but I just want to get focused.
Of course.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
And the gain's off, right? Just to be sure.
Gain is off.
Okay. If you could please just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your past. How you came to be here, not your role in the film.
Okay. I'm Mary Badham, and I'm here to honor the 50th anniversary of the film To Kill a Mockingbird. And it's quite an honor to be here in the White House.
Talk a little bit about your role in the film and how you came to play Scout.
My mother had been an actress, and she was the leading lady for our local Town and Gown Theater in Birmingham, Alabama. And she received a telephone call to see if I would come down to do the film, and or to do the tryout. I had never done any acting. I didn't know anything about movies or actors or anything. But my mom took me in, and well, first she had to go to my father, and Daddy said no. And my mother said, "Now, Henry, dear, what are the chances the child will get the part anyway?" And so, anyway, I went in, got the part, and here I am.
So, what is it about the story? Talk a little about this story. What makes this such a timeless American story? I mean, the movie stands up today, and it's one of those great films that people and students and families watch. What makes it such a great movie?
Well, I think it has all the principles that our country stands for wrapped up in the person of Atticus. He really is such a great father figure, and all the moral issues and social issues and women's issues. I mean, there's so many things that are talked about in the film or portrayed in some manner. And this film is timeless. I mean, it has lessons that we still haven't learned yet. We just have to be thankful that Miss Nell wrote this book, and that Bob Mulligan and Alan Pakula and Gregory Peck were able to bring it to the screen. And I'm just so thankful to have been a part of it. It's such an honor.
And what does it mean for you, to be here in the White House, a place I guess found out you'd only been once before as a little girl, but to be back and to have the president coming by to screen the film, which now has such a great audience still to this day. But what does it mean to you personally?
Personally, it means so much. And to meet the president, to be President Obama, I never thought to live to see, a president of color come to the White House, and I'm so thrilled. It's just, it means that everything that we have tried to do through the years has come to pass, and I think that it's wonderful that he and the girls love To Kill a Mockingbird and have read the book and everything, and I just hope that everything goes really well for him in the next election.
And you mentioned hearing that the girls were reading the book and having kind of a special feeling about that.
Yeah, I saw on the news where they had gone and bought the book, and I thought about sending a little note, and then I didn't want to be presumptuous, so I didn't send it. But I'm so glad that they read it, and I hope they enjoyed it.
No, I think this is probably the final question I got. I heard a lot of the cast, Gregory Peck's, a lot of his family's here.
Yes.
I heard a lot of the cast stayed in touch or somewhat close over the years.
We did. It really did become a family.
Can you start off with maybe just because my questions aren't going to be in it, but just kind of the statement that us cast members, after the film was over, stayed in touch, just to let people know.
Yeah. The cast and crew of Mockingbird became a family, and we stayed in touch through the years. I was up at the Pecks shortly before he passed away, and the same with Brock Peters and Paul Fix, who played the judge, and I were very close. And I often tell the story that I had reverse Oreo daddies, because I had my daddy, and I had Atticus, Gregory Peck, and then I had Brock Peters, who played Tom Robinson. And what wonderful role models. I've been so blessed to have really wonderful role models in my life, and I'm just so thankful to have been a part of this film, and I am so thankful to the president for allowing us to be here today.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh.
There's also also gardening.
Okay. Beautiful.
And just talking to me. Are you ready, Thomas? Have you been to the White House a few times before? or-
Yes, I have. I've been very privileged to have been here since 1964, the first time under President Johnson.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Very nice. Ma'am, if you could please introduce yourself and tell us what we're doing here at the White House tonight.
Well, my name is Veronique Peck, and I'm here really because my husband was Gregory Peck, and we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of a film that he made called To Kill a Mockingbird. It was his favorite film and his favorite role, and also it happens to be his birthday, so this is a really great occasion for my family and myself.
Now, I've heard and I've read that, when Mr. Peck played Atticus, some people compared it to he was playing himself. Can you talk a little bit about him and the comparison that you would draw between him and his character?
Well, he was very much like Atticus. I think had he been a lawyer in a small town in Alabama in the 30s, I think he would have done exactly what Atticus Finch did. And it was the way he was. It was in his character. Harper Lee said it gave him an opportunity to be himself. And truly, he was that kind of a man.
Now, we talked to the president of the AFI, and I read also that the AFI, when they did a poll amongst who people thought was the greatest movie hero, Atticus Finch came up as number one of the past decade. Why do you think that is? What are the qualities that he embodies?
Well, I think he had integrity, compassion, intelligence, humanity. He was a great father. He had courage, he had convictions, and he was. This was awarded just, I think, the day before my husband passed away, and it meant a lot to our family to have this recognition. And then, of course, Bob Ghazali, who's the president and chairman of the AFI, is truly responsible for putting this whole event together. He coordinated everything, and I'm deeply grateful to him.
And what does it mean for you personally on the 50th and such a symbolic, almost historic occasion on the 50th anniversary?
It's so moving to me and to my family. It's a very special day. It's my husband's birthday. It's deeply moving.
Thank you so much for sharing, and I hope you very much, and that when the president comes down, you have a chance to say hello.
Yes, and I'm deeply grateful to the president. I think my husband would have admired him so much. I wish he were around. He would be a great supporter of his. So it has a great meaning to us to be here and meet the president.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for bringing your lovely family, and it's
Thank
been
you.
very nice to meet you.
Cecilia, this is a little long.
Let us know anyway. So if you could just quick introduce yourselves, say your name.
All right. Should I say my nickname or should I say?
You say your real name, sorry.
All right. My name is James Wanda.
And your name?
Jessie Farrell.
Well, can you spell that real quick?
Ferrell. Oh, and my first name is Jessie, like the boy way. Jesse.
And your last name is spelled Wanda?
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you, guys. Tell me where you're from, the name of your school, and why you're here today.
Well, we're from Arlington, Virginia. Our school is Washington Lee High School, and we're here to watch To Kill a Mockingbird in the White House Theater.
So why is this story, obviously, it's the 50th anniversary this year, so it's an older book, older story, but a lot of people talk about how it stands the test of time. You can read it now, you can watch it now. It's still an engaging story that has a lot of roots in what's going on in our society still. When did you read it, and kind of what was your impression?
I think I may have been like 10 at the time, something like that. And I really, at the time, it was something that was very historical for me. And I was like, oh, this is what used to happen in our country. It's important for me to know. But maybe like growing up more, and I have a lot more friends in DC now in a bunch of different areas. And I found that it's actually still really relevant, which makes me sad. But looking back on having read it, I actually find it to be very relevant today as well.
Good question.
I read it when I was in 7th grade, so I guess I was around 12 or 13 years old at the time. And for me, again, at the time, I didn't really understand too much. It introduced me to several of the things, and I guess it definitely gave me an overall perspective of how society views a lot of the how society views and judges among people, and it has definitely influenced me over time based on.
Would you say it's kind of a story? What kind of sense of history do you get reading a book like that, or just reading in general works that were made, 50 years ago about the time? Does it help you in understanding the country, the society, anything like that?
Yeah, and I think it's very, at least my memory of it, because I probably should reread it, but I found it to be like very nuanced, and that you could feel for both sides, and you could feel for everyone, and it isn't this maybe like one-sided portrayal of like, and white people do this kind of thing. It was much more nuanced than that, and I think what helped me to feel more compassion for people in history who I maybe had vilified before.
Absolutely.
Those books, especially books in the past, have definitely had two meanings for me. Whenever I read it, I always get two different ideas from it. One is, the general idea of the book, and it also gives me a sense of history. It definitely tells me, how it was at the time, how people were. It gives you another perspective, another different cultural view at the time, and it definitely does change who you are as a person as you go further in the book.
And why do you think it's so important that, whether it's high school or middle school, why is it important? Why is it an important book to read?
Mostly because there are not a lot of books that address the issue up front or as well as this book. Several people make attempts, and in fact, earlier on, people make attempts, but most of the times when they do, it's seen as more of an anger type of book. It's very angry, and this book definitely does a better job at confronting two sides and really showing a better perspective of how it was at the time compared to a lot of the other books written around that area.
I totally agree. I can feel, I read all different kinds of stuff from all different times, and I can totally feel George Jackson's prison letters or whatever, but this is a book that doesn't do that. It isn't so angry. It really does provide you with a bunch of different sides to the story, and I think if it's taught in a way that relates it to present day, I think helps us as youth to become conscious of maybe some of the problems in our justice system and in our society without becoming like angered, and teaches us to maybe like to view that, to have that sort of sadness in a responsible way, and like teaches us how to handle that and what to do with that frustration.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Great. Well, thank you very much for both, and enjoy your. Hopefully that was the hardest thing you have to do now. Now you just gotta watch a movie.
Yeah. Right,
Thank you.
So cool. Welcome. Thanks.
Job date. What is something we can't wait for?
Coming through. Turn your sec. I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah, we're looking good.
Great. If you could please introduce yourself and tell us where we are here and what you're doing.
I'm Rosalind Brock, and I'm chairman of the board of the nation's oldest and largest civil rights organization, the NAACP. I'm pleased to be here today at the White House for a special screening of the 50th anniversary of the 1962 film To Kill a Mockingbird.
What makes the movie, obviously just one of those films that stands the test of time, you can watch it now and it's just as engaging, and there's still issues in it that are very valid today. What are some of the themes of the movie that still are just on the forefront of folks' minds and in society?
Well, this will be the second time I've seen the movie. It's been years since I was in school, in high school, and I had the opportunity to see the film. But I'm looking forward to one quote in the movie, particularly when it says that in order to understand a person's perspective on an issue, you really have to look at it from his point of view, to kind of get in his skin and walk around in it. And I think that's so important to us when we think about race relations and injustice and inequity in our nation today. We need to be able to look from a different lens and not from our own, because oftentimes we really don't understand and appreciate the background and the context that really creates a situation and a frame for people. So I'm excited about having the opportunity to revisit, to reflect on this movie, because it's about courage, it's about compassion, but it also is about inequities and injustice in our nation.
Do you remember kind of when you're done watching it for the first time what you thought of the film?
Well, it was an assignment for high school, and it was just a drudgery of getting through it. But now that I'm older and I'm working in this area in terms of trying to eliminate racial and ethnic disparities and eliminate racism in our nation, I'm looking at it with a new lens, a fresh lens. And so I look forward to coming out of it with a fresh perspective and being able to share the message that is really still so relevant for us today, that we have to figure out a way to get along and speak truth to the inequities that we see in our communities.
We actually just talked to some of the audience tonight. It'll be high school kids from Northern Virginia. Why is it so important? You know, that age I think is probably the age to read a book, to read this book in particular, I guess. Why is it important for the youth, to be part of the canon, that they're reading in their high school?
Well, our young people are really our leaders, not tomorrow, but the leaders of today. And it's so important for them to understand the social and economic context of our nation in the Deep South and the 60s, but also to see how it still impacts us still today in 2012. And through their lens and through their framing, they'll be able to be better human beings, better citizens of the world when they look at this type of genre, and be able to think about how to be courageous in some very difficult and challenging times. With everything that we're experiencing in our country, with bullying in schools and with injustices in the South, we've just come off the Trayvon Martin march and asking for an arrest and an investigation in that situation. How do we deal with injustice in our nation, but deal with it in such a way that we're looking broadly and looking introspectively about the issue, not making assumptions, trying to really seek the truth and understand, but most important, to be understanding about what's happening for both sides.
Perfect.
Thanks so much.
they have colors, and then the cat can kind of put a vest on or a jacket and mix it around, but you still don't feel like you know what not wearing.
Most famous Obama.
Yeah, exactly.
If you like, we have water and popcorn.
Okay, we're good. We're good. Yes.
Yes,
All right, come on. Come on. Come on. Fantastic. Hello, everybody.